It wasn't exactly the night that Paris 2024 organizers would have hoped for. More on that in a moment. But the opportunity to put the City of Light and its culture and people on full display was well taken on Friday. The boats floating on the River Seine allowed for incredible Parisian scenes as they passed storied landmarks on their journey to the end of the Parade of Nations at the Trocadero, with an Olympic rings-adorned Eiffel Tower serving as the backdrop. The famous landmark was lit up in all its glory, a veritable beacon on what could have been a dreary night. Much of the city was used as part of the performances, including videos of a torchbearer running across the city's rooftops and through iconic Paris locations, while the initial part of the ceremony flicked back and forth between recorded videos and live sweeping shots of the city. It really picked up when the focus was put on Paris itself. Parts of the city's history and culture were acknowledged throughout the ceremony, including a heavy metal performance in the conciergerie with the windows full of headless Marie Antoinette's backlit in red, and a fashion show catwalk that went over the river itself. Oh, and not to mention Lady Gaga performing "Salute to the City's Cabaret's Culture" on the banks of the river. The rain had sent a warning Friday morning and threatened through much of Friday afternoon. But Paris' grey skies finally opened up about 30 minutes into a 3.5-hour show, leading to perhaps the most drenched opening ceremony in the history of the modern Olympics. Hundreds of thousands of spectators lined the banks of the River Seine, clad in ponchos and rain jackets, and a canopy of umbrellas sprouted up at the first hint of raindrops. But after about an hour of the wet stuff coming down in earnest, it was clear some of the crowd had had enough. In the grandstands at the end of the Parade of Nations, exposed onlookers ran for the comfort of hospitality tents and other nearby covered areas, while cameras caught the occasional thinning of the crowd along the riverside. Celine Dion returns in stunning fashion. After a stunning light show on the Eiffel Tower, one of the most iconic singers of the last several decades finally made her return to performing after 4 years. Celine Dion has been battling stiff person syndrome, a rare neurological condition that causes spasms, muscle rigidity, and a heightened sensitivity to stimuli such as sound and lights. These spasms can be strong enough to fracture bone, and any fall can lead to severe injury, experts say. Stiff person syndrome is very rare. About 1 out of every 1 million people develop it, and most general neurologists will see only 1 or 2 cases in their lifetimes. The condition can develop at any age and has been found to affect twice as many women as men. The exact cause of stiff person syndrome isn't clear, but research has shown it may be due to an autoimmune response gone awry in the brain and spinal cord. Pain relievers, anti-anxiety medications, and muscle relaxers can be a part of treatment for this disease, and a new drug has recently been fast-tracked for development by the US Food and Drug Administration. Diane has been upbeat about her recovery, recently praising her doctor and saying that her fear of her condition has been replaced with hope. A Paris party on a Friday night. A long dance break in the middle of the show encapsulated the vibe that much of the show took on. It was party time in the French capital. Plenty of techno and Europop music accompanied by colorful dancers wearing all sorts of rave outfits, including one singer fully painted blue singing on a bed of flowers turned heads around the world as the French displayed their party scene. Earlier in the ceremony, the first moment that made people stop and stare was a performance by heavy metal band Gojira and their aforementioned headless Marie Antoinettes. In an opening ceremony full of classic rock anthems and dance tracks, the slamming drums and driving guitar was a surprising change of pace indeed. It was the first time a metal band had played at the opening ceremony, but one that left a mark. There was also a stirring performance of the host nation's national anthem, La Marseillaise, from the top of the Grand Palais that surely sent French spirits soaring. The traditional singing of John Lennon's Imagine was accompanied by a burning piano on a stage floating in the Seine, a truly incredible moment as the lights went out along the river.